has iHeart given an award before for podcasting, or this is the first year?
I don't think it's been going on that long.
It hasn't, right?
It's not like we haven't been nominated ever, and it's been around for a long time, right? Motherfucker!
Two Jews, both big and tall, no subject too small for the good guys. A Mother's Dream premium podcast team, make it your weekly routine. It's a Good Guys. And if you don't give us 5 stars, what are you nuts? What are you nuts? Yeah, we're the good guys, we're not the great guys. We're just so good guys. Whoa.
Mazel Morons, welcome back to the Good Guys podcast.
Josh, you know, I have to tell you, okay? I've seen the comments on Instagram. I've seen them all, and I gotta tell you, the world, including myself, is loving this beard.
They love it, don't they?
Is it too itchy, or are you doing okay?
No, I love it. It's been really good to me. And it's, my wife likes it. I'm trying it out. And then recently, the wonderful Fallon, my dear friend who cuts my hair, she was like, let me just get in there. And I said, say less, queen. And she came in and did like a nice trim up. It took like 15 minutes, but she really, and it needed shape and molding. And I feel good now.
I wonder what this is going to do to your acting career. I think this makes you a completely different person.
I think it could be believable that I'd be on a Taylor Sheridan show right now, whereas before it was less.
I think that it makes it like, I'll like see you, but then I'll do a double take and I'll be like, is that Josh in 1918, 1927? What's the name of that show? The prequel to 1900s? Is that really Josh on that big frickin' Clydesdale?
Yeah.
I think it's going to do wonders. Okay? Keep it. We all say keep it. And I read a couple of comments. They're like, Ben, you need to grow some facial hair. No, I don't. Okay? This is Josh's thing. The longer if my hair even gets this long, too itchy, it's got to go.
Well,
I can have light stubble. That's it. I can't deal with the itch, and I'm not willing to wait it out.
it's only a week of discomfort, but what would you look like if you let it go for 2 months?
Terrible. I'll send you a picture of me during COVID. I just look homeless. I was also like peak fat, peak Rosie O'Donnell, like lesbian with a beard. I looked like the bearded lady from Greatest Showman. Like that was literally me. And I just think that's, I just wasn't built for a beard. I don't know. Even though my dad has been rocking this, like he's had a goatee. He's a big facial hair guy, but no, not me.
Well, maybe in time. You do look thin as a fiddle. You look fit. Shout out Ro.co for hooking us up with our GLP-1s. We love you, Ro. And I think you think Ro. You think Serena Williams. You think Ben and Josh.
Yeah, no, you should think Ben and Josh and then Serena Williams, because we can speak from experience. We are 1,000% taking them. Okay, Serena, I don't know. She looks the same. She's always looked great. This, okay? Josh, come on.
Wow.
Come on.
Gorgeous. You're perfect.
Come on. This is authenticity at its finest, okay?
I don't like that people will sometimes comment on my videos and be like, oh, you know, he's got GLP-1 body or he's got this or that. I'll be like, honey, anyone who knows I lost this 20 years ago. But now... Right. I'm taking it for its longevity practices. And I don't mind that my appetite's slightly curbed.
Did you see the Roe commercial? Was it a Roe commercial during the Super Bowl, or was it just a GLP? I think it was a Roe commercial. There was a GLP commercial that I really hope was Roe. Regardless, whoever it was, I'm giving them their flowers. It was amazing. It was a constant game of comparing. It was like, if there was a drug out there that stopped you from being an asshole, would you take it? And it was just like all these celebrities like talking about like things that if you could stop doing and there was a magic pill for it, obviously you would take it. And this idea that we live in a world that can suppress a fatty's appetite and we shouldn't take it is nuts. Of course we should take it. Every single person that was really fat and went on a GLP and is significantly less fat, their blood tests are so much better. Everything is better. Right. Everything. So like this stigma, I'm hoping that we're kind of like slowly getting rid of it. But the stigma and the idea that this exists and you shouldn't take it, nuts.
It's all nuts. And it also, I take issue with this idea, and absolutely the, having issues with ultra processed foods and so much of the fuckery that has happened because of hard body karate capitalism with drugs, with food, is absolutely a worthy and right argument. But also this whole idea of like the carnivore diet, or, let's completely avoid any of these incredible things that we've created over the last 100 years. I'm like, why that, dog? People like to make this argument that like we're less healthy than ever. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think if you actually look at like the analytics of the last 100 years, we're only living longer for the most part, and any momentary blips are sort of circumvented by long-term that we are just living longer. So I see it a lot with people who resist taking some kind of antidepressant and what have you. And clearly everyone is specific. This is not medical advice. Talk to your doctor about it, or a licensed professional. But I think that it can be a wonderful tool in addition to eating better, living better, doing cognitive behavioral therapy, all these things. For the right person, it can really be beneficial. And I hope those people, or at least in my experience, I felt a big barrier to entry because I was afraid of, what people would say, what I'd heard, how it would change me. And it really only changed me for the better in my experience. So I hope anyone who does need it is open to it and doesn't feel the pressure of people being like, resist and reject all modern medicine.
Yeah, and you bring up a very interesting point with the carnivore diet and these crash diets, and you start to think of the psychology of why a fat person, myself very much included, my whole family everybody, okay? Like, the reason why we gravitate towards crash diets is the same reason why we can't stop eating. It's because we have compulsive behavior. Our brain is wired to need to eat. So then we rewire our brain to just need to eat this specific set of things. But we're still able to go all in. Like, that's why a carnivore diet, a keto diet, like the keto diet was, I loved the idea of it because somebody said to me, you can still eat as much as you want. Get sick. Just get sick on fat, fish, meat, Sure. And it's interesting. It doesn't ever solve. And then I swear this isn't a commercial. We're just passionate about it. What GLP-1s do is they solve that problem where it's no longer I need to eat everything. And then the magic happens where it's like, oh my God, Josh, I can fucking have a slice of pizza. Okay? I can have a bowl of pasta. I can have anything I want and still lose weight because I'm eating in a calorie deficit because my brain doesn't need to eat till it wants to throw up. That's the magic.
And I totally agree with making medicine a last resort in all these cases. But my counter argument is don't make it the 5th time last resort. Like, don't try what you've been trying 5 times and has failed before. And then finally, years later, going, I guess I'll try it. Like, do what you can within your own sort of power, once, twice. But by then be like, maybe I should entertain something different. Because that's what I find. Yeah. People like wait years and years and years. And I'm like, there's too much evidence that says the way you've been doing it doesn't work. Or it doesn't work completely.
No, it doesn't work. These diets in general don't work. They don't. Because the second that you call it a diet, it's over. It's temporary. You're meant to lose, and then you'll try something new.
But what would you call it when I lost 100 pounds between like the age of 17 and 19 without any help from a GLP?
A complete lifestyle reset with incredible diligence, hard work. I wasn't there to see it, but you clearly transformed your entire life. You didn't call it, I'm going on a diet. You probably said, I am changing my life forever. Like the term diet to me and diet culture is, I'm going to try this fad and see if it works for me. And when it doesn't, I'm going to try a different fad. And that's just what it is. You're jumping from one to the next, expecting just this magic pill when diets are not magic pills. Right. Lifestyle changes are magic pills. And most people cannot make that lifestyle change for whatever reason. I don't know why. Without something like an Ozempic, you were able to, but most are not.
Yeah.
And if they do lose the weight, they 99% of the time gain it back.
It's fascinating. But also, right, like we have decided about so many things before this with modern medicine and just like the modern sort of innovations of the last few hundred years that like there are many things that we had lived with for thousands of years that don't have to be a reality anymore. So is now obesity that? Like maybe for our kids' generation or their kids' generation, like obesity will just be a illness of the past?
I think it kind of becomes lung cancer, where of course you can get lung cancer from not smoking, but right now we know if you don't smoke cigarettes, your chances of not getting lung cancer are significantly higher. And it's the same thing. You don't have to be obese. If you want to be obese, you can absolutely not take a GLP. You can not change your lifestyle. You can eat whatever the hell you want. You can be as gluttonous as you want. And that's totally fine. Right? Just don't be shocked that you're obese and that comes the diseases that come from obesity will probably happen to you. But I think that's what it's going to be. It's like we're going to look at somebody who is obese and no longer think like, oh, I'm so sad that he's obese. We're going to think, oh, he really could have changed that. You know, it's the same thing. And I don't mean to not make light of lung cancer, but of course, when you hear that somebody got lung cancer because they smoked 3 packs of Marlboro Reds a day for 50 years, you have a very different reaction than somebody got lung cancer because they were unlucky, you know? And I think that's what's going to happen. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it certainly will be a choice. And obviously it's not for everyone. And, but I agree. I think in many cases it will be circumvented. And it was a thing that was like, basically like, it was the thing that we were all in an uproar about for the last 30 years. And
my whole life, for sure.
Yeah. And now it just doesn't have to be that way. So I think it's like overall a massive net positive and not without some side effects, obviously, and things that come with all things.
Look, I've never been more sure that we need to do everything in our power, Olivia. Everything in our power. Tell Dear Media, tell the publicists, we need Dr. Nazardin.
Yes.
Okay?
I know.
It's time. Yes. He's been on our list. If you don't know Dr. Nazardin, he is the doctor of weight loss on TLC. Like my 1,000-pound everything. He's the guy. Okay? And the fact that we are too passionate about this, Josh, not to hear from the expert's mouth. Right. He definitely knows why the 1,000-pound sisters are 1,000 pounds, and I want to know why. This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Ollie. Folks, we all have love languages, and if you have a dog, you know they have one too. Some dogs are all about quality time, some physical touch, but most dogs, their love language is definitely food. And let me tell you, that's not Romeo. That was Theo. That's Theo's cousin's Bruno, Jackie's dog. That's not Romeo, okay? Romeo is a picky freaking eater. He's so unbelievably picky, but God, does he love Ollie. And folks, celebrate the one you love the most by giving them the best, highest quality ingredients with Ollie. And yes, the kind of meal dogs actually get excited about, including Romeo, which is so rare. Oh my God, we jump from kibble to kibble to kibble to kibble to kibble. I was making him roast chicken once, so we got enough time to make him roast chicken. What are you, nuts? Ollie is great. Food quality, we're talking human grade, a better experience, meal plans that are tailored actually to your dog's specific needs. One-of-a-kind tech, I love an app, okay? On-demand health screenings where you can tap real experts for pup peace of mind and use data from the Ollie Pack to develop new recipes and products for your dog. Folks, Ollie is it, okay? Romeo eats it.
Enough said. He's so picky, it's nuts. Show your dog some love in the way they understand it best. Head to ollie.com/goodguys. Tell them all about your dog and use code goodguys to get, oh my God, are you serious? 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's Ollie, OLLIE.com/goodguys and enter code goodguys to get 60% off your first box. Ollie.com/goodguys to get 60% off your first box.
I had this moment. I was watching, I don't know what side of TikTok I'm on, but this woman was on there who is a dancer of the night. Let's call her. She's a stripper.
Okay.
And she was like, she's like, I'm going to work 5 days straight this week. Come with me to see how much money I make. And she made a killing, right? Like more than $1,000 a night. I'm like, hell yeah, go you. Like making that money, amazing. She's like, it's been an exhausting week. I've had to deal with a couple weirdos, but I made over $5,000 this week and I'm so happy. And I'm like, hell yeah, girl, get it. Yes. She goes, and I'm going to take all this money and put it towards my music. And I'm like, yikes. I'm like, you lost me. I was like, God.
Oh, that's so
darn.
funny and so sad.
I was like, don't do that.
You just worked so hard. Why are you wasting it? Also, Josh, why would music cost you $5,000? If you have a good voice and a phone, isn't that enough right now? Go on TikTok
Olivia's
and sing.
a musician. She would probably have some insight into this.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like studio time, that's where a lot of people will sink their money, or if they want to be a musician, particularly in like maybe like hip hop or, you know, a genre pop sometimes where it's like it needs more of a produced track. So
Sure.
if you're not a producer, but you like to sing and write songs, then you would probably be paying like somebody to create the track for you and then book the studio time, you know, be able to pay for a distributor, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, some people really like to pour money into music videos and things, but you can do a lot by paying a lot less, especially if you teach yourself like how to do stuff, which is kind of what I've done is just like, you know, learn. I mean, that's how I got into like audio engineering for podcasting was because of music. But yeah, you don't have to put $5,000 into it, definitely.
But can't you? I'm trying not to trivialize this. Like, we live in such a unique time, especially for a vocalist. It's different if you're not a vocalist. But if you have a great voice, go on TikTok and fucking sing. And let somebody find out that you have a great voice, and then they'll pay for the studio time. But like this idea that you're gonna like make a demo and go and bring it to a music production company, I'm pretty sure that they would tell you to go on TikTok. Like all that they care about is that not all that they care about right now? Social media followers to drive streams?
One of my friends works at a Warner Music Group, and there is a guy who is from Cincinnati, and he like blew up on TikTok over the past like a year and a half, 2 years or so, and it was just because of one song that he had. He'd been playing in a band forever, like back home. And then they had all taught themselves how to record stuff, so they've self-produced this album. He put a little video on TikTok, and it blew up, and like I would play a sample of the song. His name's Michael Marcheggi, but you've probably heard it like shopping somewhere now. But he's like a serious artist, and he just started it. He was found on TikTok. It happens all the time.
All the time.
But don't you think too, what we've come to find out with record deals, and I'm sure they're a little bit better, but probably not much, is that it's basically like indentured servitude. Like you are signing away, in many cases, some of the best years and work you're going to do. Now, granted, the record company's taking a huge leap of faith too, in that they won't make their money back by putting all this money behind you for studio time, for touring, blah, blah, blah. But I think what I'm finding in this era of like self-produced people where comedians are making their own specials and musicians are finding their audience on TikTok or Instagram for no money. It's like, if you can get over that year to maybe it's 2 or 3 years of discomfort of not having that money fronted to you, and you can figure out a way to survive and become big. It's like, I think in the modern era, the ability in which to not get an advance and using your power to negotiate a bigger piece of the pie so that, because that's how they get you, right? They're like, we'll give you $1 million up front, but you're going to get 5% if this thing ever blows up. And I think like, I don't think that's necessary anymore. And I think long term, you'll make so much more if you can make a killer deal because you didn't ask for a bunch of money up front.
100%. And you're not entitled to anything up front. Like, I'll give a little inside baseball, Josh. Our first podcast deal was nothing up front. We did it. We bet on ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the way that it should be. Like, if you're going into something saying, I'm going to make money on my music. I say this all the time with people who are like talking about cooking on Instagram or like doing fashion on Instagram. Like, if you're going into it with the intention that I'm going to use social media to make money, you're going to fail. If you're going into it saying, I'm going to launch a podcast and I'm going to do it weekly with my best friend because we have a lot of great things that we want to talk about. And after 52 weeks, we're going to see what happens. But we think it's really good. And you go into it with there's nothing, you know? There's no expectations. I think you bet on yourself.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're a singer, right, in theory, the record deal is going to have to, right, what they're paying for is that producer who's going to cost $150,000 to produce your album. And then they're also paying for, you know, so maybe your album's $200,000, and then they get you a stylist for $75,000 to decide on what your look is for your debut. And then they're spending $500,000 on hotels and travel for your, you know, couple dozen shows that you're doing in that year. So again, it's like, and this might sound insane, especially to artists who naturally don't have a lot of dough when they start, but it's like, if you can find a way to avoid that, because in exchange for all that, they're like, and for your next 5 albums, we get 95% of it, right? Like, it's just a really rough deal, and it's not going to, and that's how we benefited from the pod, that it was like, by us being willing to take nothing up front when we could renegotiate, where we were like, well, we have some power because we have a great fan base, the Morons.
Yeah. Bet on yourself. I don't know. And we're living in such like a cool time to be a creative. Like, just go create. Don't think about anything other than creating. Yeah. That was what I was trying to say. Wow. Love this episode.
We're so deep. I also, and we're late on this, but I wanted to ask your opinion. And I'm not I find I'm as much of a Joe Rogan fan as anyone else of his podcast. Like, a couple episodes I love, a couple episodes I'm not into. Some of the things he says, I'm like, yeah, it's a good point. Some of the things he says, I'm like, what are you nuts? But I did think it was a fair point when I heard that there was a podcast award at the Golden Globes, which were a couple weeks ago, which Amy Poehler won. Shout out, much respect to her. But her pod's been around for a year. Rogan's been around for 15 years and basically created and changed the landscape of podcasts everywhere. And I do think it's crazy that he didn't win. Having the number 1 podcast in the world. He also said that he wouldn't give the $500 it took to register to be nominated, which I have heard you have to pay to be nominated. What do you think?
So you have to, I'd love to know, in acting, film, if you want your movie to be recognized,
you have to pay.
You have to submit it, correct? And you have to pay.
Yeah, it's like a college application.
So on the in the alcohol business, if we want to win any kind of an award, you have to try and, like, there's like multiple, like it's like a gold star for flavor or something, like the San Francisco winery competition. There are a million of these, and you pay a fee, and then you figure out and sometimes it feels scammy, but I don't think the Golden Globes would be one of those things where I would think to myself, this feels scammy. I would think, if I was Joe Rogan, that if I wanted to win it, which he obviously would have won it, I would have paid the $500 because it's worth more than that in legitimacy and publicity, or he feels that he doesn't need that. And maybe he doesn't need that. But I don't know. I thought that, like, I heard what he said, and I think he obviously has the biggest podcast in the world. But these shows are subjective. Like, if I don't know, I definitely think that The Toast could have been up there. Like, a show that's, like, if you're thinking about, like, a cult fan base that's been there for a very long period of time. To your point, Amy Poehler just came on. It seems like a fantastic podcast. I've seen great clips. I'm sure it's pulling incredible numbers. But just like any of these awards, it's subjective. and we have yet another subjective award to give out. But I thought that it was an unbelievable net positive for the entire podcasting industry. Like, so legitimizing that old school media is finally recognizing it. So I don't know. I thought it was like kind of weak of Joe. Like, pay the $500, or don't talk about it and don't care. Like, but you care enough to talk about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been nominated for silly awards before, right? Like, that aren't televised, and they've said you need to register, or like some have been like you have to send $100 to be nominated, and it just like there's something, I guess, because I know how much these things make. Right, from the TV production, from the commercials, from the endorsements, X award show presented by Microsoft, or like, there's just so, I mean, it's the winners, the true winners of award shows are the producers who, are making millions of dollars for this thing.
Sure.
I guess it's a barrier to entry, right? So this way, you're not getting a bunch of bullshit applicants to an Ivy League school if you have to pay $300 to apply or whatever. But I just always wonder where that money's going.
Yeah. I think for school, you're right. It limits
non-serious people
from applying when, like, they're not like, oh, I probably wasn't going to get into Harvard, and the fact that I need to waste $300, I'm just not going to apply. Like, I think that makes sense. But for something like the Globes, where you're being told that your category is new at the Globes and you have the biggest podcast, just do it.
You're right.
Or don't talk about it.
Right.
It's not like it's very silly. I read that too. I was like, Joe, this is silly.
Yeah.
Like, why are you talking about this? If you care, pay the $500 because you have 200 million or whatever it is. And I know it's not about the money, but then what is it about?
Yeah, it's fascinating to see what he cares about, because I actually feel like he hears and cares about much more than we realize. He just takes his time to reply, and he's thoughtful with his reply, but he always replies. Like, you just got to wait for it.
So do you think, I'm just thinking, like, where does, and maybe it doesn't go further than something like the Globes, but in the movies, you have everything from the Academy Awards to a Sundance to a Tribeca it's not just one enormous award show, but there's the opportunity for indie, smaller movies to get their flowers. Like, I wonder if that happens with these alternative forms of media too.
In general, I just think there's too many award shows, and so I think to the public, the award, like if you made award shows for entertainment, like the World Cup or the Olympics, and they were every 4 years, can you fucking imagine? I mean, publicists would throw a fit because they'd be like, I'm out of business. But could you guys imagine? Unbelievable.
No, it would, unbelievable. But I want to ask it maybe a different way. Like, how in the world is a Good Guys, a Toast, how like these are not podcasts produced by studios, right? Amy Poehler is a product of that machine. She's in that machine. She lived that machine. That's why she's nominated and won. So I guess my thought is like The Basement Yard, or like these podcasts where we're just like scrolling through TikTok, we see hilarious clips. They're huge shows, like with huge fandoms. I wonder if there's somehow a system that can be put in place to give those shows their flowers too, because they're actually the ones that people are watching and listening to. I'm not saying people aren't watching and listening to Amy Poehler. I'm just saying there are other shows that, again, didn't go through the same system.
Yeah, Olivia, the Independent Podcast Awards, I love it. The IPA,
Yeah.
It's so hoppy.
It is the IPA.
So hoppy. I love
Actually, the 2026 iHeart Podcast Award nominees, they've been going on for a few years now, but I see that The Toast was nominated for Best
The Toast
Comedy
got that
Podcast.
Let's go.
Yeah.
They did, which is fucking sick.
Alongside The
It's
Basement
great.
Yard and Good Hang, a couple other ones. But
Hell.
yeah, so I think that's where I see a lot more like shows kind of, and smaller shows too, get a chance to get their flowers, like ones that are maybe reporting on more business or things like that. But yeah, there's that. There's the Ambies, and there's the Webby Awards, which kind of touch everything. And I guess the Streamies, but yeah. iHeart is probably the biggest.
So it's happening.
Yeah, I think iHeart and the IPAs are the biggest like podcasting awards, and the IPAs have been going on for longer.
Has iHeart given an award before for podcasting, or this is the first year?
They've been doing it for a few years now. I want to say, let me find out how long it's been going on. But
I don't think it's been going on that long.
It hasn't, right?
It can't be, right? It's not like we haven't been nominated ever, and it's been around for a long time, right? Motherfucker!
Oh my God, Josh! I forgot to pay the $500. That's why.
This is so Rogan coded of you.
Shit.
I think it's 4 years.
I forgot to spend the $500.
4 years.
We would have been nominated.
We've only been around for 4 years, so you know.
I didn't spend the.
What? Okay, I
at least should have been holding a phone. I'm literally looking at an invisible phone.
That's nice object work. That's mime work.
Right? I thought so.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Little Spoon. Folks, look, okay, I have a beautiful little baby, but I'm around toddlers all the time, my nieces, my nephews, these big kids, okay? They're such gorgeous kids, but let me tell you, it's hard keeping them fed. Okay, look, we can't always just make these perfect homemade meals. Who are we, Betty Crocker? Who am I, Jackie? Oh, no, even though Uncle does sometimes cook for them. Let me tell you, okay, we're looking for something delicious, but we're looking for something that's right for the age. Let's talk about the baby stage, okay? Little Spoon supports babies from their very first feed. We're talking baby cereal, baby blends, when solid food begins, first bites, first spoons, all of it, okay? And that's not to replace the purees that you're making or that I'm making. It's just to help supplement. Maybe you had a long day. Who knows? The toddler stage, okay? We're now really trying to supplement. We got to take them to these classes, back from classes. They're a handful, okay? And we don't always have time to make the Michelin star meal. So we need some things to supplement, and we need to make sure that our kids love it. We're talking biteables, which are cut to size, pinchable meals that make the transition to table food feel easy. All baby and toddler food are recipe tested for 500 plus contaminants, including heavy metals. The more you know, let me tell you. And then at the big kid stage, we're talking big appetites, big opinions, and that's where plates are, and heat and eat meals with superfoods and hidden veggies. They're going to love it. And we're talking lunchers that are nostalgic, better for you versions. Absolutely fantastic with over 10 grams of protein per meal. Keep these kids nice and full. There's so much at Little Spoon. You really just got to go to their website to be able to check it all out. But feeding the kids doesn't have to be complicated. Little Spoon makes it easy with real, nutritionally balanced meals and snacks designed for every stage. It shows up ready to go, takes the pressure off, and somehow still gets devoured. Veggies and all. No artificial dyes, flavors, or sweeteners either. And you know what? That's a win I'll take every time. Get 30% off your first online order at littlespoon.com/goodguys with code GOODGUYS. That's LITTLESPOON.com/goodguys with code GOODGUYS for 30% off your first order. This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Momentous. Folks, you know we love Momentous. Not only do we love Momentous at the Good Guys Podcast, we love Momentous in the Soffer household. The Bruce Soffer, my father, has been taking their creatine, and let me tell you, oh my God, he is in the gym. He is crushing it. That's right, he is absolutely crushing it. And let me tell you, I think it has something to do with the creatine. The creatine for me, look, I take creatine not because I work out. Let me say that again, because you might have missed it. I take creatine for my brain. It's fuel for my brain. When I take creatine, I think faster, I think smarter, I have less brain fog. There's just something about it that makes me feel great mentally. Okay, so I'm taking 1 milligram of creatine a day. Now, some can take 5, okay? That's for the people who are working out. But look, all you need is one, and they have those beautiful chews. 1 allows you to take advantage of that beautiful stuff for your brain, okay? That beautiful stuff for your brain. And Momentous is the absolute perfect company to get it from. We're talking the purest form of creatine monohydrate, and every formula is made with clinically backed, highly bioavailable nutrients with no fillers and no artificial sweeteners. And they are certified by NSF for sport or informed sport, meaning it's tested for contaminants, heavy metals, banned substances, and verified for label accuracy, so you always know exactly what you're putting in your body. And if they ever find something that's not good enough for your body, they throw it away. It'll never hit shelves. If it doesn't meet their standard, it doesn't hit the shelves. They also have protein, omega-3s. You can find so much more than creatine at Momentous, but let me tell you, you got to get the creatine. The creatine is it. Okay, whether you're the athlete or you're the couch potato, but you want a good brain, okay? That's Momentous, and that is creatine. Right now, Momentous is offering our listeners up to 35% off your first order with promo code GoodGuys. Head to LiveMomentous, LiveMomentous.com, and use promo code GoodGuys for up to 35% off your first order. That's LiveMomentous.com, promo code GoodGuys.
Well, now tell me this. I was listening to the comedian Jade Catta-Preta on the Jim Norton pod, which is a fantastic podcast. And I don't know if you remember, but she's a comedian, really funny, Brazilian, and she took over for Joel McHale as the host of The Soup for a year or two.
Okay. Yep.
She told this story that made me livid while listening to it, that she came in and, like most shows, the producers, you're the new host, the producers were pretty heavy-handed, I think. And Jade, who's a wonderful looking person, they were like, oh, we want you to wear these like really short shorts on one of the episodes. And the designer and Jade said, I had worked with the designer and we'd come up with like kind of a wardrobe that I loved and felt confident about. And then the wardrobe stylist just one day came in and said, okay, here's your shorts. You know, they want you in these. And she was like, no. She's like, I don't want to wear that. And basically said, Joel McHale didn't have to wear those. I don't want to have to wear them. And she said that her agency called her and said, hey, she's like, and it was like an all hands on like phone call. And all of her agents go, hey, just want you to know, like the show's coming out next week. The network's really excited, but you know, they just want you to know that you can be replaced. And I've heard this before. I've heard a threat like this of like, just so you know, you can be replaced. And it made me apoplectic. What would you do in that scenario? Now, granted, and in Jade's defense, like I've so been in that position where like you feel powerless, you feel like this is a job that's going to change your life and you just like have to get it on air and do what you can. Granted, thankfully she didn't have to wear the shorts, but like, and Olivia, please feel free to weigh in. But I was like, ooh, like at this time in my life, I would say, message received. Let's not do this. I would call their bluff in a second and make their life miserable. 10 years ago, I wouldn't. Well, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's something that comes from time and experience to what you just said. I think that if I felt like it was a big break that would change my career, I'm the type of person that 100% bends the knee and I'm like, cool, okay, I'll wear the shorts. Because I see what's after the shorts. I'm not saying that's right. Like, but that is something that I would have done. I would say that now, having seen some of that stuff and knowing that it's probably not it. Like, not to like be a jerk about it, but whenever you feel like this is your big break, after this, it's going to be everything. You do that thing and it wasn't it. It wasn't it. It's going to be the thing that you never saw coming that is it. So if you feel really uncomfortable by a demand and you're told that you can be replaced, I love what you said. Replace me. Because by the way, you will have such a worse show if within a week you have to try and replace me. It will be significantly worse. And then my contract will be broken. I will tell everybody why. And it'll be a PR nightmare. Like I wouldn't say any of that. I would just say, okay, replace me.
Totally. Olivia?
Yeah, it infuriates me, first of all.
Good.
It makes me so angry and it's such a double standard. And like as a woman, you know, you get put in, it's like, okay, so I'm not going to be a great host unless I look like super sexy on camera and wear these like tiny little shorts. Like I'm glad that she didn't end up having to wear them, but to be threatened after that is like, it's just such horse shit in my opinion. And I think that, you know, maybe a few years ago, kind of similar to Ben, I probably would have like just, you know, said, are like, really? Okay, like grin and bear it. I'm a people pleaser and I'd probably just want to, you know, have that big break. But I think these days I would like to think that I would not. And that I would push back a little bit more and take the, okay, yeah, you want to find, you know, somebody else, go right ahead, because I'm not going to like compromise my just who I am and my morals. And not that that has, you know, shorts are a morality point, but you know what I mean? Just like the principle of it, I guess. But yeah.
I completely agree. And I think that's much easier when you've changed your mindset to this isn't my big break and they don't control my big break. They have way too much power in that scenario where it's like, wear the shorts, otherwise you're not going to be famous. But, you know?
It's a bad long-term bet. And I will say, like, privilege isn't the right word. Resource is the right word. Right now, like, thank God, knock on wood, I make a living outside of the traditional entertainment system. So I would feel comfortable walking away. Whereas 10 years ago, when my livelihood depended on every next gig, of course, like, I would have been in the same position to say, like, God, I guess I have to do this. And that's not right. But I think it's really interesting. Can we talk, Ben, about, we haven't talked about it, about Claudia on The Masked Singer?
Yeah, I mean, if it's something, I'll just flag it. If it's, let's start to talk about it, and like, if it's not something that I can talk about, I'll just tell you.
Well,
but yeah.
this is, I'd love to talk about the whole thing because it's fun, but like, what I give Claudia a lot of credit for, and I think, for everything I heard from you guys, and I know some of the people worked on the show, like, they were amazing, but I think Claudia, and I give her so much respect and applause for, at a certain point, going like, this is a lot. I've got basically a newborn and we're away from our support system, and I'm going to have to bow out. Like, that takes so much, self-respect and guts. And I just give her so much credit. And I give Masked Singer a lot of credit for being like, we will find a creative way to honor you in that. Right?
Me too. Yeah, 100%. And it's similar though. It's funny, if I was in her position, which I could never have been because I can't actually give birth to children. But if I somehow was in her shoes, I don't know. I'm a more immature people pleaser, and maybe I would have done it. And she is just like a badass that knows not only her worth and her limits, but also knows. She just handled it so incredibly. Like, she went on, she sang 2 unbelievable vocal
so
performances, got her community really excited about it, got flowers from the judges, and then was like, bye. Like, I don't need more than this. I've done everything that I set out to do. I'm sorry if it's not within your system. And to your point, the Masked Singer people were lovely. Like, they were so great and understanding, and so it's like a polar opposite experience of what you just had said. But yeah, again, that just comes from knowing, like, just I guess knowing your worth and knowing when enough is enough.
Yeah, one of our close friends is a producer on The Masked Singer, and she's one of the great people. So I'm not surprised at all that they handled it perfectly. And what I am surprised about is how in the dark our friend who was a producer and Ben and Claudia made me and Paige, because no one was saying nothing. We had to be surprised, like, you, the lemmings, the public, the morons, we're elite. We want to know things before it happened. I remember Ben calls me. He goes, guess what? Claudia and I were moving out to LA for 6 weeks. And in the back of my head, I said, no, they're not. I was like, that's never going to happen. But I was like, okay, I'll play along, Ben. And he goes, yeah, we're going out. Claudia's doing a show. It's really exciting. I go, great. What is it? Ben says, can't say. I go, Benjamin, this is insane. You tell me. He goes, Josh, I haven't even told my parents. He goes, these lawyers have scared us so bad. He's like, I cannot. I said, what's the network? He goes, none of your business.
You ever heard of Nunya?
It's so unfair.
I wanted to so badly. It just, we told no one. It was just 100% under wraps. And it was one of the hardest secrets I've ever had to keep. And it wasn't even my secret.
And then he comes out. It's so great to have Ben and Claudia here. And they come to the wonderful Shy's birthday. It's like, what a gift. It's like we finally live on the same coast in the same city. And, and we have 3 amazing in-person podcast episodes. And Ben and I are like, we're going to shoot all this Patreon content and all this behind the scenes stuff. And, and I'm like, great. Like, I'll start setting stuff up for the next couple of weeks. 8 days after Ben arrives, I get the call, Bubby, we're leaving. I go, I knew it. And I understand.
Yeah, we had to go. But those 8 days in LA were great. I had a great time. Like it was lovely. The weather was weathering. And it was lovely. It was lovely. It was lovely. I hope to do it again one day, even though I probably won't, but I hope to do it again one day.
This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Mint Mobile. Folks, stop paying way too much for wireless just because that's how it's always been done. Mint exists purely to fix that. Same coverage, same speed, just without the inflated price tag. The premium wireless you expect. We're talking unlimited talk, text, and data, but at a fraction of what others charge. Who wants to pay more for something you can pay less for? And for a limited time, get 50% off, you heard that, 50, 3, 6, or 12-month plans of unlimited premium wireless. Bring your own phone number and activate with eSIM in minutes and start saving immediately. No long-term contracts, no hassle. With a 7-day money-back guarantee and customer satisfaction ratings in the mid-90s, Mint makes it easy to try and see why people don't go back. Folks, Mint Mobile is it. We're talking lower prices for the same wireless. I mean, I don't understand. If you were there are 2 options, okay? I'm going to sell you a tuna sandwich for $20.99. Same tuna. Or I'm going to sell you a tuna sandwich for $12.99. Same tuna. $2.99. No. $20.99 or $12.99. Obviously, you pick $12.99. I hope that resonated with you all. Ready to stop paying more than you have to? New customers can make the switch today, and for a limited time, get unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month. Switch now at mintmobile.com/goodguys. That's mintmobile.com/goodguys. Disclaimer, upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 a month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Over 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. Additional terms apply. See Mint Mobile for details. This episode of the Good Guys Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Built. Folks, it's 2026, and if you're still paying rent without Built, it's time for a change. Built is the loyalty program for renters that rewards you for your biggest monthly expense, your rent. With Built, every rent payment earns you points that can be used towards flights, hotels, Lyft rides, Amazon.com purchases, and so much more. And here's something I'm really excited about, folks. Now Built members can earn points on mortgage payments for the first time. Are you kidding me? That means you can get rewarded wherever you live and unlock exclusive benefits from more than 45,000 restaurants, fitness studios, pharmacies, and other neighborhood partners. Personally, I'd redeem my points for, I don't know, a beautiful stay down by the beach. I love getting a free hotel. Is there anything better than that? You take your points, you redeem them towards travel. It's absolutely fantastic. Or maybe, I don't know, points on dining. I love a free meal. Who doesn't love a free meal? Free caviar? Where do I sign up? How easy is that? It's simple. Paying rent is better with Built, and now owning a home can be better with Built too. Earn rewards and get something back wherever you live. I mean, what a dream. Join the loyalty program for renters at joinbuilt.com/goodguys. That's JOINBILT.com/goodguys. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you.
Well, and you know, it's funny. The last thing I'll say about all of it to bookend the Jade Catta-Preta story. You know, it's funny when you start a show, like when I was on Grandfathered or any, you know, How I Met Your Father, all the shows I've done, the crew or more producer writers will make this joke. They say, you know, in the first year, the actors work for us. In the second year, we work for each other. And then in the third year and everything subsequent, we work for the actor. And I think that's like a shitty, I'm like, yeah, because you started it. And it doesn't have to be that way. And granted, it takes some really smart and forward-thinking executives and actors who can be viciously annoying and the worst.
Yes.
It takes 2 smart people to be like, if we don't start this as close to a quasi partnership as we can, whoever wins in this scenario in a year or 2 from now is going to make the other pay for it. So let's not set it up that way where I hate you from jump. because if the show's a success, I'm going to make you pay for it. And that's when you hear about actors who are in renegotiations and don't show up to set because they're not at the number that they want to be for season 5. It's like that behavior is unacceptable too. But they're like, you beat me up for 3 years. You made me feel like I could be replaced. So now that I know I can't, get fucked. And that's not cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's tricky. It's just like, I think like you're being paid to do a job. Like it's so, I know that it's not apples to apples, even though it should be. Like if you have a job and your job is you're paid $100,000 a year, and if you don't show up to work, you don't get paid. And some offices, like there are dress code requirements. Like you can't wear. I'm even thinking of baseball. Like in baseball, with the Yankees are known. You can't have facial hair,
but you couldn't before.
Oh, okay. So you couldn't though for the first 100 years, and that was a thing. If you want to be a New York Yankee, you have to shave your beard, and it's obviously not the same thing as asking a girl to wear shorts, but there is something to the employer-employee agreement, and I just think that we should all figure that out. Like there should have been options, of course, but do you get what I'm saying? And I don't want it to be like misconstrued that I'm not on the side of women not needing to wear something that somebody told them to wear. But I am also just thinking about Broadway. Like if you are trying out for a part and you get it, they tell you what to wear. It's a costume, right?
Yes, but you know that going in. So each party agrees to those terms. Agreed. But
Sure. So then that's it. So then it needs to happen earlier. Like we need to treat these things as if it's theatrical. Because
but it's, again, with like when you're hosting something like that, you aren't playing a character, you are a version of yourself. And they're asking you to bring all of your
that's true
things.
That's true.
It would be if, I'm sure Colbert, the late night people, like they have a closet of suits that they wear that they're comfortable in. And if an executive came down and said, I want you in a vest, and they said, no, like that's not what I do, and we agreed, and these are the suits that I wear, then, it's something you could bring up during a renegotiation and say, we've polled and data shows people love vests. So if you want another 20 million a year, you got to agree to the vests. That's where you bring it up. You don't bring it up and say, this is happening.
I agree. And I think that it's a perfect fine tuning of what I was saying, that these are, you're not playing a part, you're playing yourself.
Right.
So if you're playing yourself, it's actually, it's funny, and then we'll move on. But like when a brand will reach out to me, I'm sure they do the same thing with you, and they'll give you a creative brief and they'll say, we want you to make content just like this. There are two things that you can say, which I always say. One is, of course, you're the client, I will do it. That said, it would do much better if you let me do something that was a little bit more authentic to me and my audience. And it's just funny that the brand or the studio doesn't see that if talent is comfortable, they're going to do better. Versus if they're uncomfortable in what they're wearing. Imagine being on TV uncomfortable in what you're wearing. I'm uncomfortable walking into a room feeling uncomfortable in what I'm wearing. Going to dinner, TV, you're going to put me in something that I don't feel good in? I'm going to perform worse. So, just fascinating.
God, such good guys.
We're fascinating.
Such good guys.
We are. What are you, nuts?
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
What are you, nuts? Our gripes with people, places, and things, both big and tall, as Josh said, is whatever is sticking in your craw. Josh, Super Bowl Sunday is a what are you, nuts?
Tell me more.
It should be Super Bowl Saturday. That's it.
Great.
It just, I don't care that Sunday football is a thing. 6:30 p.m., I'm eating my weight in food that I slaved over all day to cook. I'm having people over. By the time they leave, it's 10:30. By the time I finish cleaning, it's 12:30. And you want me to show up to my desk in the morning? What are you, nuts? Put it on, or Monday needs to be a holiday. Make it so that Super Bowl Sunday is always on the Sunday before President's
Right, which
Day.
is next week.
And then Monday is a national holiday.
Exactly
That's
right.
it. You're 1 week removed. Just do that. No problem. But you need to give people the day off. It needs to be a weekend or a national holiday after something as big and national as the Super Bowl.
So true. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You?
My Woody and Nuts is so dumb. The other day.
Wow.
No. I was thinking about it. I'm like, but then like, would they be worried that people would be away on 3-day weekends and then not able to like sit with their mishpuch and enjoy? But you're right. Then just make it Saturday.
Just make it
Why not?
Saturday. That's it. Or even, Josh, make it Thursday. Make it Thursday.
Make it Thursday
night.
afternoon.
Because at least people could.
I'm tired.
At least people could have a slow Friday. Don't do any. The worst possible thing is to put it on a Sunday.
Oh God! And did I get after it? And I thought I was going to go work out after because I ate my face off. And
What'd you eat, Josh? What'd you eat?
all right, so this was the day of dips. And my mother-in-law, this genius, she made a spinach artichoke dip. She made a queso with ground beef dip. Okay, I'm dipping and ripping, baby. I'm moving and grooving. She made a bell pepper wheel that looked like a car, and then she stuffed the bell pepper with crudité. And so we're crushing that. Then she makes dogs. We're doing tri-tip. Amazing pasta salad. All the salads. It was so good. I went ham. What about you?
You know how long it took her to make that? Like, bravo.
She's unreal.
It's so. Okay, so we did like a combination. We did it at Jackie's house. We did a combination of like ordering in some stuff, which like I just wouldn't do again. Ordering, it's just not it, okay? I wanted to make everything, but it would have taken me way too long. I made a bunch of stuff this week, but the best thing I made this week was Cowboy Caviar in a honey chipotle vinaigrette. Cowboy Caviar, Josh, is just, it's a vessel. You can turn it into anything. It's literally like beans and chopped peppers and corn and whatever it may be. I made a Greek version. So delicious. This was it. And then we had like boneless wings, which were meh. And we had deli, which was a little dry.
You made a Greek version. It was the same Cowboy Caviar, but you just put a diner set around it.
Oh, I love gyro. It would have been great with some gyro in it. Fuck.
The Greek version of the Foo Fighters song, There Goes My Gyro. Watch him as he eats.
There goes my gyro. Oh, that's good. The Foo Fighters need to come out with a
The
gyro
Food Fighters.
shop. That's good.
The Food Fighters, There Goes My Gyro.
Oh my God, the Food Fighters and the gyro. Oh.
Or if you want to do a wonderful Latin version, I can be your gyro, baby. Enrique Iglesias. It'd be amazing.
The gym class gyros.
That's good.
You got Woody and
my
Nuts?
Woody and Nuts is okay. I'm so stupid. So I make the kids lunches in the morning, and so we usually do like a little fruit section. So I was like rinsing off raspberries and blueberries, but I do it in the carton, and so a lot of times I'll leave them in the sink because we have like a grate that lifts it above, and it'll just like kind of like I'll leave it there for like an hour just so that the water kind of evaporates, and I'll shake them a little bit. Anyway, I forgot to get the berries out of the sink that I was going to put in my kids' lunch. And so I wake up the next morning and I go, oh my God, the berries have been out all night. And I thought, fruit lives outside. What are you nuts? Who cares? The fruit is fine.
The fruit's fine.
It was born outside.
It was born outside. Yeah, put it back in the fridge. It's fine. If it's a little bit too soft, maybe toss it, but it's probably fine, Josh. It's probably fine. Oh, and before we close, I went to a farmer's market this weekend. We'll talk about it on another episode. That said, I was just like picking things that looked gorgeous, the most beautiful produce. I thought, these are such cute little peppers. I bought 6 of them because they're so cute. I asked everybody, do you guys know what these peppers are? Habaneros. What are you, nuts?
Orange.
Too
You didn't know?
hot.
The
I
little
can't-
oranges are always habanero.
No, I thought they were just like cute little.
Oh, no. They're dangerous.
Cutesy little guys. Danger.
Scovels.
Danger.
Scovels.
You know what else is dangerous, Josh? Not giving this episode 5 stars. That's dangerous. What are you, nuts? Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe to the pod, okay? Give us a 5-star review. Give us a 5-star review. And let me tell you, we are going to read a beautiful, positive review every single episode. But we're not talking 4 stars. We're not talking 3 stars. We're talking 5 stars only. And let it be a compliment, okay? Say something nice. Maybe even mention a moment, okay, that you loved about the show. And we are going to read it aloud. Josh, do you have one for us?
Of course I do. This one's for code name Tiny Shoes. 5 stars.
Yes.
Nice to find good guys. A rare find. Actually, good guys, and they make me laugh and make each other laugh. They are topical without being political. They touch on pop culture without being gossipy. I look forward to every episode. Thank you so much. We love you. And I say next episode, we roast all of the bad Speakpipes we got, which were abominable this week. That's why there were none today. And I think we need to show the people what are the ones that are being rejected that we say we love. Thank you for sending them, but they're not great. And you're about to get roasted.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Let's
Roast
roast
'em
them. Mondays and Thursdays, folks. We'll see you next time.